What up, what up? It's Xander here, back with another video for you guys. But before we get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that we can dive into today's video. Today, we're going to talk about interviewing. For those of you who do not know, I am a facility advisor. So in layman terms, what that means is I spend most of my day interviewing people, developing people, preparing them for their professional journey. So this channel is going to be about a lot of different things, from pop culture to my favorite artists to things going on in today's world, but with a little bit of professionalism. My goal is to help young professionals like myself break into whatever field that they want to, just sharing some of my skills. So today we're going to talk about 5 fast tips for interviewing. So tip number 1, maintain eye contact. Sounds pretty easy, right? It's incredibly important. When I'm interviewing people, I cannot tell you how important it is for them to make eye contact. That keeps me engaged, it lets me hear what they're saying, and it shows me that even though they may be nervous, they want me to hear what they're saying. So eye contact is extremely important. And with that, that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, find a format. What do I mean by this? A lot of times when you're interviewing, it can be extremely easy to get nervous. And when you're nervous, you can kind of trip yourself up. So if you find a format, a way to answer your questions, it can be easy. It makes it a little easier to answer your questions and make sure that you don't forget anything. So for example, a STAR method. The STAR method is an acronym that stands for situation, task, action, results. So let's say, for example, I'm an interviewer and I say to you, describe for me a time where you had to deal with an irate customer. You would lay out the situation for me, tell me what you were tasked with, list out the actions that you took, and then last and most importantly, you will provide me with the results. This way you kind of stay on track, you're clear, and you are showing them that you did deliver results. Okay? So that's really important. That leads me to my next tip. Tip number 3, be clear and concise. Interviews sometimes last between 5 minutes to an hour. Regardless of how long they are, you want to make sure that you jam-pack that time with important, pertinent details about yourself. You're selling yourself, so you want to make sure that you're clear and concise. You get to the point with your answers so that they know at the end of the interview that you're the one that they should hire. So make sure that you are not providing unnecessary details. All right, on to tip number 4. Tip number 4, body language. Extremely important. You don't want to go into an interview all slouched. You don't want to go into an interview looking like you don't care. It's extremely important to maintain good body language. For example, you want to sit up straight. You want to keep a good posture. You want to keep your eyes, you want to maintain that eye contact that we talked about earlier. Also, I'm very animated. As you can see, I like to talk with my hands. Sometimes that can be distracting. So what I like to do is I like to keep my hands crossed. It's not necessary, but what I find is people that have a good posture and maintain that posture throughout the interview, often I pay more attention to their answers and less to what their body's doing. Okay? Next, tip number 5. Tip number 5. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Extremely important. A lot of times interviewers ask the same questions in different ways. A lot of times different companies will ask you the same types of questions. A simple Google search can bring up some of the most common interview questions. And what I find is when you get nervous, it's kind of hard to get the answers down. But if you prepare and you practice, it kind of helps to jump over some of those hurdles. So it cannot hurt you to prepare. And then a little bonus tip, it is extremely impressive to me when someone comes in and knows a little bit about the company that I'm working for. That tells me they're really interested in the job and that they took the time to kind of research just to see what we're about. That is extremely impressive. Now, it's not mandatory, it's not necessary, but it does go a long way. Once again, I will say, I am by no means, this is not the end all be all. These are not, the 5 best interview tips. These are just what have worked for me along my professional journey. And when I develop people, these are the tips that I give them. So if they helped you, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment below with some of the things that, some of the biggest hurdles that you guys run into when it comes to interviews, whether it's interviewing other people or you going in as an interviewer. Feel free to, give me some feedback in the comments below. This is Xander Sins. Thanks.